Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world? I hope you are blessed and doing well. You know who it is, of course. It's your boy Zuby. Just making sure that everyone can see me okay and hear me okay. Please leave a message in the chat and just let me know that you can hear me okay. I'm going to do some quick shout outs. Let me know you can hear me fine. We are now going live. This is Team Zuby live stream number 2. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know. Drop a comment. The live chat is going right now, so I just want to make sure everything is running okay before we jump into it. Okay, there we go. All right, they all came through at once. I think they got throttled. Fantastic. How you guys all doing? I hope you are blessed. I hope you're doing well. I hope you've had a good Monday so far. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope everybody is doing well. I want to give a quick shout out to a couple people who are tuning in right now. So shout out to, we've got some crazy names here. The Dank Lord, Diablo, Chia Pet, Freedom Finder, Fu Mantis, Ginger Rob, Kevin, OP Blitz, Hope Reynolds, Leonard Gomez, Seb WBA, O'Dowd, Rex Mundy, CA23, hi all. Yeah, we got some people in here. Okay. What's going on, guys? So this is my second time doing live stream. Looks like we've got almost 100 people tuning in already. Thank you for everyone who is tuning in. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't schedule these things too hard, but I think I'll take a similar format to what I did last time. What I will do is, as people are joining, I'm going to just open it up for the Q&As. So if anyone wants to ask a question, you are welcome to ask a question in the live chat right here on YouTube. You don't have to do a super chat. If you'd like to support the channel, you'd like to support my work, and you want to drop me a super chat or a super sticker, I will absolutely prioritize that. All super chats always get answered. But if you've got a question, feel free to drop that in there. So there's a few things I want to talk about today. I have titled this live stream, "They Will Not Divide Us." And I'm writing this because, man, it just seems over the past couple of weeks, things have just been getting amped up. Things have been getting amped up. I think it's calmed down a little bit now, I'd like to think, compared to where it was maybe a week or a week and a half ago. Things seem to have calmed down a little bit, both here in the UK and also in the USA. But there's still a lot of tension, and it's kind of weird. But I want to talk about that a little bit later on. And I think another thing that would be interesting to talk about was a tweet I made today, which went really viral, which was talking about the idea that I believe we are looking for. I think the problem in the West right now is a lot of people are looking for political solutions to spiritual world problems. So I think I will talk about that and expand on that idea and concept a little bit more. Firstly, I want to say thank you once again to everybody who's joined. We've already got over 130 people who are tuning in and listening live. This is my second time doing a live stream like this. As I said before, if you're just joining, if you want to drop a question, you are welcome to drop a question in the live chat. I'm going to open up and do a Q&A. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about, I want to talk about division, and I want to talk about unity, and I want to just share some thoughts around that. Then I'll sort of open it up for another Q&A. If you want to ask a question at any time, leave a super chat at any time. That's always appreciated and welcome. I've also got a little bit of merch, which is like running really low. There's a couple items I've got where I've only got like 1 or 2 pieces left. So I'm going to promote those a little bit later on in the stream. And if anyone is interested in getting a couple of the last pieces of certain Team Zuby merchandise before it sells out totally, then you'll get a chance to do that. If you want to see what's available, you can go to teamzuby.com right now, though. So I'm going to look through the questions right here, and let's see what we've got so far. Let us see what we have. Okay. Let's start this out. Okay, who's got the first question? Lots of these are just saying hello. What's up, everybody? I appreciate you tuning in. Much love. Lots of nice comments here. Just people telling me they love my content, love the channel, etc. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Shout out to Big Steve. Appreciate you, bro. Okay. First question. Good grief, people, man. Always jumping straight into the politics. What is your view on immigration/mass immigration? How do you even answer this question? Like, it's such an open-ended question, and it sounds like a bait question too. Look, I'm pro-immigration. I'm a freaking immigrant. Of course I'm pro-immigration. I'm generally pro immigration in terms of mass immigration. I don't even know how that is defined. Like I think countries have should have autonomy and control over their borders, and each individual nation is sovereign and should be able to control their rules and have certain standards, etc. And obviously, you can't just flood a country with an indefinite amount of people in a very short space of time with no integration, like, and no assimilation. That's clearly going to be a problem for society and economics and culture, etc. So I would to answer that very simply, I would say I am pro immigration. Mass immigration, I don't know how you define that, but yeah, there need to be checks and balances. So my position on that is very sort of centrist and moderate. I think that's most people's view. I don't think a lot of people are totally anti-immigration, and I don't think most people think total open borders with no restrictions is a good idea either, because those both have their problems and are not good for society in general. Okay, this is not a question, but I like this comment. My gym is open again, so Zuby comes back on my iPod. Man, you're lucky, Joseph. I still can't go to the gym. Can you believe it? Here in the UK, every single gym is still closed. Every single gym is still closed. And yeah, I'm glad you're going to be bumping my music in the gym. I wish that I could do the same, but I will have to wait a little while. Okay, we got the first super chat. This has just come in. Oh, nice one. Okay, I'm gonna jump to this. This is a super chat right here. This is from Max. He has sent £9.99. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate it. Hey, Zuby, it's Max here. We met in the gym in Southampton. I'm starting uni in September. As an Oxford grad, any uni advice for me, bro? You're an inspiration for me. Hope to meet you again soon. Man, yeah, I remember meeting you in the gym, Max. So shout out to you. I hope you're doing well. Any uni advice? Wow. Again, this is tricky because it's such an open-ended question, so I don't really know what angle to come at this from. But firstly, I would say don't overthink it. Enjoy your time in university. Take advantage of the opportunities that you have. You'll have a couple of years where you'll be living in a way that you won't kind of get that opportunity again later on in your life. So from a social level, take advantage of that. Make friends, build your network. In a career level and a professional level, make sure you build your skills, not just within your specific subject, but just generally. Think of what you can build, what you can create. Like when I was in Oxford, that's when I started out with my music. I was making songs, making albums, doing shows, etc. And that put me in good stead to be doing everything that I'm doing right now. So think about what it is you want to do, or if you're not even sure, just think of skills that you can gain that are always valuable, whether that is communication or sales, marketing, public speaking, things to do with computers, technology, business, etc. That's stuff that's always going to be useful, no matter what it is you go on to do. Besides that, yeah, work hard, take care of yourself, take care of your health, both mentally and physically. That's something that a lot of people abandon when they get to university, but I know you're already hitting the gym because that's where we met. So keep hitting the gym, keep building yourself physically, mentally. And by the time you come out of university, you'll be in better position than most people are for sure. And thank you once again for the super chat, Max. I appreciate it. Nice. We got another super chat here, so I'm gonna jump to this one right here. So this is £5 sent by Renes BBWI. He sent £5. He said, "Okay, dude, smiley. Not much, but every little helps. Every little helps, absolutely, man. Thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you very much." And we've got one more of those right now. And this says, it also says, "Okay, dude." Hi all has sent £2. "Okay, dude, when do you think the idiocracy will end?" Man, I don't know. I think it will end when people put an end to it, right? I think people need to speak up more. I'm always encouraging people to just speak up. And I'm not talking about being like crazy or extreme or radical or anything, just the people in the middle who are just kind of caught in this crossfire and they're not totally on board with whatever people consider idiocracy. I think people just need to be open, honest, willing to have conversations, willing to be reasonable, etc. I believe that most people have good intentions. Most people want things that are good in the world, even if you disagree with their methods or you think they're misguided. But as long as the communication channels are open, then I think that is a very positive thing. So that is my thought. So I don't think the idiocracy is going to necessarily burn out by itself because the zealots are going too hard. The zealots need to be reined in. But I think once people see how destructive some of this stuff is, then as long as they have the courage to speak out and they feel emboldened to do so and to support other people in doing so, then I think it will, I think it'll burn out then. Okay. We got another super chat here. This one is from Rebecca Carnop. Thank you very much, Rebecca. She sent $10. I appreciate it. I'm going to read this one out. It says, "Love your content, Zuby. I feel like I'm always checking the news, but more and more I want to stay away from current events for my mental health." Wow, Rebecca, I hear you. If you notice, so I'm actually in my living room right now, and you'll notice, maybe you won't notice because you can't see the whole room, but I do not own a television. I have not had a television for 12 years, and it's probably one of the best decisions that I've ever made. Now, you guys could probably tell I stay informed because I am very active on social media, but just not having a TV, like if you can do it, I honestly recommend it. I know that what you use your TV for, TVs can be used for a lot of different things. Some people have them to play video games, some people have them for Netflix, etc. But you have to think like TV is designed to program people, right? Television, you get programmed through the channels, right? So depending on what you're putting in there, if you're just sitting there and you're watching news, especially if you watch news every day, all day, it's almost guaranteed you're going to end up depressed. Like it's not good for you. It just puts fear. The whole news media runs on fear and anxiety. And that's okay in small doses. But if you're getting it all day or multiple times a day, then as you've realized yourself, it's just not healthy for you. So yeah, I recommend disconnecting from it once in a while, even disconnecting from social media once in a while and just sort of living your life, going out in nature, hanging out with friends, family, etc. All that stuff is very good for you. Okay. We've got one more super chat, so I'm going to get to this one. I don't think there's a question here, but thank you very much, John. John has sent $10 and I appreciate that. So we've got to the super chats for now. I'm going to just go through some of the other questions before we get into what I want to talk about. And we will then get into my chat about division and unity and, how I think we can move forward here in a positive way rather than in a negative way. So let's see the questions here. Okay, there's a question from Freedom Finder. What does your necklace mean? You can see this necklace here. Don't know how well you can see that. This is my star sign. It's a Leo. So that's actually a little lion on the necklace. You probably see me wearing this all the time. It's really the only jewelry I wear unless you count watches. So yeah, this is my star sign. It's a Leo. I got this when I was on my 16th birthday. All the males in my family have a necklace with their star sign on them. I think I'm the only one who wears mine all the time, but I've got one. My brothers have them. My dad has them as well. So yeah, that's what it is. Next question we have here. Will we see more celebrities like Robbie Williams coming forward to start talking about touchy subjects? I don't even know what Robbie Williams has done. Seems like I've probably missed something here. I don't know what Robbie Williams has done or said, but most celebrities are... Oh man, celebrities are a funny breed, man. Like, have you noticed how all celebrities seem to have the same opinion on everything, at least the vocal ones, and that's not real. Look, celebrities want to be liked and they want to make money, so they'll generally do and say whatever it takes to be liked and to make money, whether or not it's honest, whether or not they believe in it, whether or not it fits by their principles, etc. And that's also why they get held to ransom. That's why they're all worried about being canceled, because they've sort of built up their whole persona on something a little bit fake and inauthentic. So if you do that, you are at risk of being canceled. So that's part of why I don't roll like that, let alone I can't sleep at night if I don't keep it real. Okay, we've got another couple super chats, so I'm going to jump to those ones right now. Let's see how we can... I'm just trying the best way to sort of organize this. So we've got a super chat here from Reg Morton. Oh, Reg has sent £20. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It says, business starting to pick back up, Zuby. We'll be in touch soon as regards previously discussing sponsorship. Okay, cool. Yeah, I remember speaking to Reg. Reg runs a company here in the UK and was interested in sponsoring the Real Talk with Zuby podcast. So yeah, Reg, hit me up. And thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it. I'm glad to hear that business is picking back up. Okay. Got another super chat right here. V Parker sends $10. There's no question, but it just says, keep voicing common sense on your platform. Glad I found you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I see we've got almost 250 people tuned in live as well, so thank you. I'm going to just finish off these last couple super chats, and then we're going to talk a little bit more, and then we will get into, we'll do another Q&A later on, though, for sure. This is super chat from Professor Stratios, $4.99. What exercise do you recommend for people who only like to run? I love running, but I hate them heavy weights. Even if you hate weights, I recommend lifting still. Just like if you lift and you hate running, I still recommend doing some running or at least some cardio. There are benefits that you can't get just from running. Resistance training, strength training is going to build your muscle. It's going to make your bones stronger. It's going to increase your muscular strength, and etc. You can't get any of those benefits from running. So running is great for endurance. It's great for cardio and staying in shape in general. But if you want it to be muscular and you want to be strong, you don't need to get super jacked. That's pretty tough to do anyway. But I would recommend doing some type of strength training, whether that's more of a bodybuilding style, a powerlifting style. Some people like CrossFit. Some people like just doing calisthenics, push-ups, body weight exercises, pull-ups, planks, that kind of stuff. I would recommend absolutely everyone should do some kind of strength training. So even if you're already running, that's great, but strength training will give you some benefits that you can't get just from running. So all the exercises work, but try it out and see what it is that you enjoy. And thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Okay, I think we got one more super chat right now, so I'm going to get to that one, and then I want to talk a little bit about division, and I want to talk about what we can do. Okay. This is a $10 super chat from Arail. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hey, Zuby, how do you feel about people having your music on their projects, like in the background on Twitch streams? I love your music. Just would like to listen to it while streaming. Yo, you've got my absolute permission. If you want to use my music in a stream, you have my permission right now. If there's anything, I don't really know how Twitch operates. I don't know if they have automatic copyright detection and stuff, because my music is in some organizations where it can get automatically detected if someone uses my music, for example, on YouTube, and then it won't get a copyright strike normally, but what'll happen is that it will get monetized so that some of the money does end up coming back to me. So I don't know exactly how Twitch works. In terms of you using my music for your projects, your streams, whatever, YouTube, I'm totally cool with it. If it's anything you specifically need from me, then yeah, let me know. Drop me an email, zuby@zubymusic.com, and maybe I can sort that out for you. But yeah, bang my music out wherever you want. I appreciate it. Okay, we've got one big super chat here. So before we jump onto anything else, let's get to this one. There's a $50 super chat from Kelly B. Thank you so much. That's very generous of you. Hi, Zuby. I appreciate your channel and content. Thank you for your positive outlook and attitude, even when it comes to tough conversations. We need more people like you. Thank you very much, Kelly. That's really, really kind of you. I genuinely appreciate that. Thank you. No, for real. I love my fans and my supporters. Honestly, I hope it comes across. I hope it's obvious in everything that I do. But yeah, I can't do what I do without my supporters. So thank you very much. And I try to be a voice of reason. I know that a lot of people, I've reached this sort of weird position now where it feels like I can only ever speak for me. I can only ever speak on behalf of me and voice my own opinions. But I know that a lot of people now sort of view me in a light as someone who sort of speaks for them in a way, because I've got a bigger voice and a bigger platform to articulate some of people's concerns. And I always try to be open. I try to be honest. I try to be fair. I try to be balanced. Like everybody else, I have my personal views. I have my own biases, like we all do. So I'm never going to be totally neutral on everything, because I do have opinions, right? I'm not just a fence sitter. But anything that comes from me, it's always going to be honest. It's always going to be truthful. It's always going to be authentic. And that's just what I do. And I'm glad that more and more people around the world are discovering it and appreciating it, whether that's through my podcast appearances on others, my music, speaking, whatever it is. I'm truly grateful for it. So thank you once again, Kelly. And thanks to everyone who's dropped a super chat. Really appreciate it. You can drop those at any time in the stream. You don't have to, feel no obligation. But if you want to support my work and the channel, they are always appreciated. So I titled this stream, They Will Not Divide Us. Now, look, I feel like the world is sort of, I feel like we're almost splitting into, I think we're splitting into a lot of different camps. But I think that one of the big splits is essentially people who kind of just want to get on with things and who want to live life and be decent and be kind and just continue to treat people fairly as they're already doing, right? I don't believe that most people in our society, as much as people try to paint this picture, I absolutely don't believe that most people in our society, whether in the UK or in the US, I don't believe most people are, racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, bigots who hate everybody or anything like this, right? It's almost like they're trying to paint the picture that half of the country or half of the world are just these evil, horrible, bigoted people, and the other half are the righteous social justice warriors and progressives who want to fight these people. And it's such a false dichotomy, right? I mean, look, I haven't been everywhere, but I've been to over 100 towns and cities in the UK. I've been to a lot of different cities in America. I've been to 33 countries. I've been to more of the world than most people have. And one thing I've concluded is that regardless of what country you're in, regardless of people's skin color, ethnicity, gender, sex, sexuality, whatever, you've got decent people and you have indecent people. And the decent people massively significantly outweigh, like, I'm not even saying people like being good, because good is anybody really good? We're all a mixture of good and evil and neutral. But most people are decent. Most people are law abiding. Most people want to look after themselves. They want to look out for their neighbors. They want to take care of their family, their children, their brothers, their sisters, their community. That's the way most people are naturally wired. Most people aren't going around trying to inflict pain, damage, and oppression upon other people. And I think that what's happening is we're sort of being sold a lot of false pictures and a lot of false narratives. So I'd imagine that sort of 90% of people, at least 80% of people, are just want to kind of get on with stuff. They know that they are not evil. They know they're not racist. They know they're not sexist. They know they're not misogynist, whatever. Like, they're just like, look, we just want to get on with life. I treat you fairly, you treat me fairly, etc. Right? Don't yell at me. Don't blame me for things I didn't do. Don't accuse me of things I didn't do. Don't treat me unfairly based on my immutable characteristics, etc. I do truly believe that that's the vast majority of people. And in my personal experience throughout my life, that is certainly the case. But there is a smaller percentage of people, and it's a very loud percentage, and it's a very overrepresented percentage in certain areas and certain industries. This includes politics and media, which are two things that are very, very powerful. And they're essentially incentivized to keep us at each other's throats. So they do want to sow division between black and white. They want to sow division between men and women. They want to sow division between the straight people and the gay people. They want to just sow division along every line you can: Republican, Democrat, left, right, Labor, conservative, Brexit, Remain, etc. Sure, some of these things are immutable. Some of them are political. Some of these are people's beliefs. But as I'm sure you know, if you exist in the real world, you've probably met people of all categories who are decent and who you're friends with and who you love and who you're kind to, who you work with, etc. Right? No matter what you are, right? If you're a conservative, I'm sure you've got liberal friends, people who vote differently from you, who they're cool, you love them, they're good. If you believe in God, I'm sure you know people who are atheists, but they're good, they're moral, they're cool people, etc. You're an atheist and you know people who believe in God, and maybe you disagree on that, but no, that's a good person, that's a cool person, etc. We don't need to agree on absolutely everything. People talk a lot about diversity, and diversity goes beyond how much melanin you have in your skin and where your ancestors are from. Diversity is everything that makes human beings different. So what's weird is we're living in this time where people are preaching diversity and tolerance and inclusion, but at the same time, they are sort of condemning intellectual and ideological diversity. They're sowing division and they're practicing exclusion, right? Like, that's what the whole cancel culture thing is. And this is not good. And so what's happening right now is a minority is really sort of controlling the game, right? A minority of people is controlling the game. And there's for different reasons for that. Some people, it's purely financial, right? There's a whole industry, there's a whole grievance industry worth billions of dollars that is very profitable for sowing division and sowing resentment and keeping people at each other's throats. If you're a politician, this is fantastic, right? Because regardless of what side you're on, you can capitalize on that and you can get people to vote for you by stoking those seeds of division, right? If people feel like, hey, the whole system is out to get me, or these people are oppressing me, or that person, these type of people are this, or these type of people are that, that can be used for nefarious means. We've seen this many, many times in history, right? There's some super obvious examples, especially in the 20th century, along racial lines, ethnic lines, even class lines. And it's just not healthy. It's not good, right? I was raised to love my neighbor as myself. I was raised to treat people fairly and equally, regardless of their immutable characteristics, regardless of their religion or what country they're from, etc. And I think that's what most people, I certainly think that's what most people believe. And I think it's what most people strive for in everyday life. Like if I go outside, if I travel around, whether I'm in the UK, I'm in Europe, I'm in the US, I'm in the Middle East, I'm in Nigeria, wherever I am, it's like people generally are just getting on with things. We're just getting on with things, right? You go to London, you go to New York City, you go to Los Angeles, and yeah, you might be online and people are talking all this stuff about racial division and, and sexism and all these other isms and phobias. But then you kind of go out in the real world and it's like, man, everyone's just getting on with stuff. Like people are busy. People are trying to go to work. People are trying to hang out with their friends, have healthy relationships, raise their families, etc. And so, yeah, there's this weird split as well between our real world experiences and sort of what you may see online or on social media where everything is just amped up, things that come out in the media, and it's just making it seem like it makes it seem like it's worse than it is. This is not to say that there are not legitimate problems. There are always legitimate problems. Human beings are very flawed. So if you put millions of them together, let alone billions of them, you're going to get problems. But my point is don't buy into the division too much, right? Don't buy into the division too much. It doesn't mean that you need to get on with absolutely everybody and everything is going to be kumbaya. Let's all hold hands and everything is wonderful all the time, especially in an election year. I know that that's not realistic that that's going to happen. Because human beings are naturally tribal. You can see this even at sports matches, etc. Right? People get tribal over silly things. I have an Xbox, someone else has a PlayStation, so they want to get tribal about that. I like purple, someone else likes green. They want to get tribal about that. Two people like different football teams, different hockey teams, whatever. People get tribal over all sorts of things, whether it's something that's important or something that's unimportant. But ultimately, it comes down to viewing people as individuals rather than seeing people just as a collective, right? Because people are not just a collective, right? Sure, I am a straight black male, but that does not mean that the next straight black male that you meet or that you see is like me or has my experiences or my viewpoints or my personality or anything, right? Even if they look even if they look really similar to me, right? You can't infer anything from that, right? Because we're all just individuals. You could have 10 people who look similar to me in a room, and we could be coming from totally different ideas, totally different positions on different subjects, right? It's literally so much more than skin deep, right? So as we all know, I mean, that's what racism is, right? It's like, if you think of what racism generally is, or at least prejudice and stereotyping, it's assuming that because someone is in a certain category or has a certain characteristic that they behave or they think or they are or they act a certain way. And we know this is not correct, right? Because we live in the real world, and it's not like all black people are not the same, all brown people are not the same, all Asian people are not the same, all white people are not the same. Even on ideological levels, all Christians are not the same, all Muslims are not the same, all atheists are not the same, etc. We're all individuals, and that's what makes the world cool, right? Really, that's actually what makes life interesting, because if we were all just robots and we all just did the same thing and thought the same thing and had the exact same abilities and personalities, how boring would it be? how boring would it be, right? And that's the problem when some people sort of seek equality of outcome. I believe equality of opportunity is a fantastic thing. I think in a fair society, you want the laws and the rules and the policies and regulations, etc., to be as fair as possible to give people a good shot. But you don't want to, when people focus too much on the outcome and everything, it goes against the whole idea of freedom. It goes against the whole idea of diversity because we are all different. Even if you look within the same family, people are going to do different things. They have different interests. They have different occupations. They have different personalities. They don't all agree on everything. But that doesn't mean that we cannot love each other. And I'd love for that to be extended to a local level, to a community level, to a national level, you know? This is probably a bit too utopian, but, ideally to a global level, maybe one day. And I'm not a globalist, but what I'm saying is that I believe for the most part, at least 98% of us can get on with each other. All right. It doesn't mean you have to be super duper best friends, but it means that you can be civil, right? You don't need to fight. You don't need to attack each other. You don't need to hate each other, etc. Look, I'm a realist as well. I understand that there's a tiny percentage of the population wherever you are, in any city, in any country, etc. You've got criminals, you've got bad people, you have some people who just want to harm people, who are sort of psychopathic, sociopathic, evil, and they're just not good people. And all of us sort of agree on that. So yeah, sure, they sort of mess it up for everybody else, but let's not let people like that ruin like everything else. You know what I mean? That was not my most articulate speech, but hopefully you guys understand what I'm getting at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up. I've seen a whole bunch of things are coming through in the chat right now, so I'm just going to have a little look at this. Someone's left a super chat. PLN 10. What is PLN? I'm not sure what PLN is, but thank you, OP Blitz. There's no question there, but thank you for that. I'm just going to have a quick look at the chat and see if there is anything that needs a response to. Okay, this has just jumped out at me. Let's see. Do you think the US has a certain perception of the UK? I have had extreme conservative Christian Americans / conspiracy theorists tell me that I need to leave. Tell me that I need to leave England ASAP. That's funny. Yeah, I think both the UK and US populations do have perceptions about each other, especially people who haven't traveled to the other one. Here's an interesting thought. I think that the UK and USA are more different than people realize. I think because we speak the same language and there's some part of a shared common history, that people think the UK and US are like very, very similar. But in terms of culture, in terms of history, in terms of the way the politics even run and the way the countries are laid out, they're actually pretty different. And I think if we didn't both speak English, that would sort of be more obvious. But yeah, in terms of the US perception of the UK, I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe some Americans can chime in. If you've never been to the UK, what are your thoughts on it? I think most Americans think that British people are very polite. They do tend to like the accent for sure. I can't really play on that because mine is somewhere in the middle. And yeah, I think both countries have this thing of thinking the other one's like a little bit crazy. So a lot of people in the UK, for example, especially when it comes to things like the Second Amendment and like guns, people in the UK are just like, oh my gosh, like these Americans they're crazy. Like, what are they doing with all these hundreds of millions of guns? Like, why are they like that? What are they doing? Everything just seems a lot more sort of like extreme and polarized in the US. Even if you look at the politics, right? I liken US politics to WWE wrestling, just because it's so ridiculous and funny and over the top. And you literally have a president who is a social media troll and who actually is in the WWE Hall of Fame. And the whole thing is, I think if you take it like way too seriously, then it probably frustrates you and makes you angry. But if you can sort of see some of the humor in it and just some of the ridiculousness in there, then It's certainly good entertainment value. Yeah, but yeah, look. I don't think either country is going to explode, right? I think a lot of people think that both countries are in meltdown, but I think they'll be okay. I think we'll all be okay. So I don't think you need to leave the. I don't think you need to leave England ASAP. If you're in the U.S., I don't think you need to leave the U.S. ASAP either. We're all going to survive, folks. We're all going to survive. And shout out to you, Mimi. Mimi's awesome. I know Mimi. She's lives here in Southampton. Let's see what other questions we got here. What is BLM doing with the millions in donations? This is a big question that people want answered. So I don't know, but we will see. We will see. I think I will be vindicated on that because I'm seeing way more people now actually questioning the BLM organization and realizing that it's not everything that they thought it was. So hopefully more people will wake up to that. Again, catchy name though. Good name. Let's see what other questions we got right here. Let's see. Someone is saying it's going to get crazier over the next few months, and maybe it will. Maybe it will. But if people speak up, we can hopefully bring stuff back to moderation and sanity. I see we've got over 300 people tuned in, by the way, so thank you very much. I appreciate that. That is cool. I do enjoy doing these live streams, and they'll get better over time. I'm still learning. It's a tricky thing to do, but yeah, we're getting there. Let us see what we've got. I'm trying to flick through these questions really quickly. Trying to get through them really quickly. Oh, nice. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is that Polish zloty? Zloty's the Polish currency, right? I've been to Poland, so I think so. PLN is Polish currency. We got another one, PLN 25. Do you plan to invite James Lindsay or Brett Weinstein? Yeah. We all follow each other on social media, so I would absolutely love to get them on my podcast. If you guys haven't subscribed to my podcast yet, by the way, check out, you can subscribe right here on my YouTube channel or just search for Zuby Podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Castbox, whatever you use. I'm going to be putting out the 100th episode, in fact, this Friday. So please tune in. This is an interesting question. What do you think is wrong with schools? Do you think it's creating anger in young people? What would you change in communities to help young people respect each other? This is a fantastic question. I think what's going wrong in schools is that they have become ideologically possessed. Same thing all throughout academia. It's the same thing that's happened in universities, which is that there is a very heavy ideological bias, and this is clouding everything else. And it's almost becoming, how would I put it? It's so almost sort of this totalitarian ideology that's being put into young people's brains. And I do think that it does create anger. I do think it creates resentment. I do think it creates division, and I do think it creates hostility. I don't think there's any value in taking, whether it's a 7-year-old or a 17-year-old or even a 27-year-old, I don't think there's much value to be gained, for example, in telling that person that they are either oppressed or immutably privileged or, inherently privileged because of their immutable characteristics, right? So these are ideas like white privilege and male privilege and, some of the feminist narratives and all that kind of stuff, or like class-based narratives. I just don't think it's helpful. I don't think it's useful to take a 7-year-old black child or Asian child and tell them that, white people are out to get them and they live in a society that's full of, a white supremacist system that's inherently against them. Like, I don't see how that's useful. I really don't see how it's helpful. That's not what I learned when I was in school. And I think I'm better off for not learning it and not buying into that. I just don't see how, to me, that just keeps the division alive. I've heard it quoted, I can't remember who quoted it, that racism isn't dead, but it's on life support. And I think that's pretty true. We've made some huge strides over the centuries and certainly in the past couple of decades. And I don't think it's something that can ever be eradicated 100% because, as I've said, human beings are flawed and we are tribal. But I just don't think along any lines, whether it's racial, gender, class, whatever. I just don't think it's useful to constantly be putting people into these collectives and sort of creating this idea that the world is a battleground between different classes of people, right? Like we're in Warhammer or Dungeons and Dragons or something, right? Like it's okay, you've got like the white people here and you've got the black people here, and then you got the straight people, you've got the gays, you've got like the men, you've got the women, and you're all trying to oppress each other, and this one's oppressing that one, and this one's victimized by this one, and this one has this privilege, this one has that privilege. It's not useful. It's really not useful, and it's not a healthy way to look at the world because it forces people to just see that, right? When someone is totally indoctrinated into that, they can't see me as anything other than a black male, right? They can't just get that. No, I'm Zuby. I'm an individual. Sure. Like the fact I'm black and the fact I'm male. Yes, sure. These are just by dint of birth. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything special to be those things. But so yeah, don't judge me for them, but don't treat me like differently. Don't treat me special. Don't treat me badly based on these characteristics, etc. So I just don't think that I think that what would make schools better is to almost teach the opposite, right? So to show people, look, everybody is different. We are all different. Some people are like this, some people are like that, some people look this way, some people are that way, some people are able-bodied, some people have different disabilities, whatever. But you know what? We're all equal, right? It comes back to the, something basic in Christianity. Man is created in the image of God. We are all equal. So love your neighbor as yourself. Treat people fairly. Be kind to people. Super basic stuff. And actually, most children, if you look at children, kids don't care about this stuff. Kids will just play with other kids. Like they just get on with each other. Like they just do their thing, and they don't see the world through this weird ideological lens. And perhaps adults can learn something from children in that regard if they don't already know it. So that's my thought. And I think that would be good to have in schools and universities, etc. Just in society. Just to sort of live up to the principles that we claim to preach. I think that would be great. We got another super chat right here. Let me come to this one. So this is from Easy007. He's done a £5 super chat. Thank you very much. Keep spreading your sage advice. Will Blackburn, Blackpool, the Black Country, etc. need to change names now? LOL, you speak a lot of what many think. Okay. So I think this is about like people canceling, people being super sensitive about words and wanting to cancel everything. So yeah, I think Blackburn will need to become person of color burn. I think Blackpool will need to become person of color pool, and Black Country can be POC country. And I think that would make things I think that would end racism. I think that would make everything perfect and better. That's I'm just playing, but I don't know. No, hopefully they won't get that silly. I do see that people keep sort of canceling themselves and canceling everything from, what have we had now? We've had Aunt Jemima's pancake syrup, Uncle Ben's rice. What else have we had? I saw like Family Guy, The Simpsons. You're saying, that's something I actually wanted to talk about because you're having all these white actors talking about how they're gonna stop voicing non-white characters. And the funniest one I found was in The Simpsons, because in The Simpsons everyone's yellow. Like there's no white people. There are no white characters in The Simpsons, right? Everybody's yellow. So the idea that like you're not good, the whole thing is just ridiculous. Like the point of acting. With voice acting, it's even more ridiculous because you don't even see the person who's doing the voice. But this idea that people can only act or voice act for people who already are like them. So if I'm an actor, I can only play the role of like, I don't know, a young black male rapper of Nigerian descent who is from the UK but kind of sounds American. Like that's not acting. The whole point of acting is you are literally acting. You're pretending to be something that you're not. In Family Guy, what do they want Brian the dog to be voiced by an actual dog? Is Stewie supposed to be voiced by an actual baby? Why is Stewie voiced by a human, by an adult, right? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, the voice actors weren't teenage, they weren't ninjas, they weren't mutant, they certainly weren't turtles. So all of this, the whole thing is just silly. The whole thing is silly, and it's utterly pointless. It's just such a huge distraction. It does absolutely nothing for society, right? Nobody complained about this stuff before. Nobody cared. Nobody cared who voiced Cleveland in Family Guy. Nobody cared who voiced, I don't even know which others. Like, it's Bart Simpson is voiced by a woman. Bart Simpson is voiced by a woman. I think her name is Nancy Cartwright. So is she no longer allowed to voice Bart Simpson because she's appropriating what it is to be a male and that's offensive to men or something? Come on, guys. Like, the thing is silly. It's all silly. I think you guys know it's silly because, but this is the stuff that I just think needs to just chill and stop because it makes people feel deranged. It just makes everybody feel like they're being gaslit. I don't know about you, but like all year I've just kind of been like, wait, am I just being punked? Are people just playing like a big joke on me? And I woke up in some weird zone where people cancel Aunt Jemima pancake syrup and call the Cocoa Puffs monkey racist. Like, what's going on, guys? What's going on? But it comes back to the thing about division. You know, all of this stuff. It's you know, some of it is egregious, some of it is just silly. But I genuinely think it does more to divide than it does to unify. I do believe that because it just makes people angry. It makes people angry. It makes people upset because, look, especially when it comes to like entertainment and sports and things like that, it's like, look, these are just supposed to be an escape. Video games, it's just supposed to be an escape. Have some fun, get away from all the nonsense. You know, I don't want my ice cream telling me what political views to have. I don't need my like t-shirt company telling me who I should vote for. I don't need my, you know, my computer game or my Amazon, like my Amazon account telling me what people to support and what causes, etc. Like, it's just, I don't know. I preferred capitalism before it got woke. I liked capitalism when they just wanted my money, right? And they tried to feed me politics or anything. Just sort of take my money. Unless it's, you know, some things are directly political and whatever, but it does just get tiring. It does just get tiring. And it's divisive because some of these things just should be agnostic, right? I know Ben and Jerry's has always been a little bit political, but why should Ben and Jerry's have, they make ice cream. Like, why should Ben and Jerry's have like a super clear socio-political stance that they're trying to ram down my throat? Like, I just want your ice cream. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my thought on that. But I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what other questions we got here. Let's see. Anything super interesting right here? Yeah, someone is saying it's gaslighting. We're in a narcissism epidemic. Someone said Titania has become real life. That's funny. 2020 is a nightmare, and I'd like to wake up from it now. Hang in there. Hang in there. We all got to hang in there. We've all got to hang in there. There was something else that I wanted to talk about on the stream. What was it? Oh, yes. I'm not going to go too deep on this one because I think it'll be interesting maybe to save for a future one. But what I'm going to do, just to give you guys an idea, I'm gonna share some ideas, and then actually, you know what? Before I do that, I wanted to let you guys know that I've got some merchandise which you can get at teamzuby.com, and there's a couple pieces where I've almost sold out. I'm down to the last one or two of all of these things, so I just wanted to show you guys. Okay, so if you want any of these, you can go to teamzuby.com right now, and you can buy them. You will be the very last person to get these because I think all of these items are going to be retired once they sell out. The first one is I've got my very last purple Team Zuby beanie. If you want one of those, it's 20 pounds. It's literally the last one. So I say one of those, it's literally the last one if you want that. And I've got two of these. So these are the gold beanies, Team Zuby gold beanies. I've got two of these available. If you want those, you can go to teamzuby.com and you can get one of those. Now, I've also got I've got a couple t-shirts which are almost sold out. This one is an XL. This is the tie-dye blue, I'm down with Zuby, are you? This is the very last one I've got, and that's an XL. If you rock an XL and you like that t-shirt and you want to get it, head over to teamzuby.com. Never going to be made again. It's actually a really dope t-shirt. I love these ones. But that's my last one, and it's an XL. So if you want that, that's available. And I have two in purple. So I've got the purple I'm down with Zuby tie-dye t-shirts. I've got one large. No, I've got two larges available. Two large is available. So if you like that t-shirt design and you want to be the last person in the world to get that t-shirt, if you want it, go to teamzuby.com and you can check that out. I'm just going to put that in the chat right there, teamzuby.com, if you want to get any merch. Boom. So what I was going to say is, yeah, I had a post go viral on social media earlier today where I was just talking about this idea that I believe we're looking for political solutions to spiritual problems. So this is a deep thing. So I think I'm only going to sort of touch on it a little bit right now. I'm not going to go too deep on it, but a lot of people think that the government can fix everything, right? People think that, look, if you could just get the government right, you could just get the right guy or woman in power, you could just get the right policies, the right party, etc., then we can fix problems. We can fix all problems. And look, political problems can be fixed with political solutions. Economic problems can be fixed with economic solutions. However, I think that in modern Western society, we are dealing with some spiritual realm issues. And I think this is why some politicians don't have an answer for everything, right? And they can't have an answer for everything. And even if they try, even if they put in certain policies, not everything can be fixed because not everything is a political or an economic problem, right? You guys know I believe in God, but even without getting too super religious about it, I think like there is evil in the world, right? Evil is a real thing. It's not like a made up thing. Evil is a real concept. We're all capable of good and evil, and there are certain issues. So let me make this more concrete. Let me give a good example. So in the USA, a lot of people know one thing people always talk about with the US, even though statistically actually it's very rare, but it still happens more than it should. The concept of mass shootings or school shootings. Okay? If you ask politicians, it doesn't matter if they're Democrats, Republicans, independents, etc., what is the solution here, right? They always start talking about guns, right? They focus on the tool. The focus is always on the tool. They focus on, maybe you should only have this many rounds, or maybe we should ban the AR-15, or maybe we should not allow this one or that one, or we need more gun-free zones, or we need more checks, restrictions. There are a lot of things people put under the banner of gun control. But I have a much deeper thought about this issue. And I think this is a spiritual realm problem, right? I don't think this is a political realm problem. Because to me, the question isn't, what is the gun that the shooter decided to use? Okay? Just like if someone gets stabbed, I'm not thinking, what was the knife that was used, right? I'm not focusing on the tool. The question is, what takes someone, in these situations, normally a young man, what leads to what's going on in society, in culture, and in communities that is creating people who even want to hurt others in such a way? Because we've all got access to lethal weapons. If you're in the US, you might literally own guns or multiple guns. We all have knives. Many of us have axes and all sorts of tools and weapons. Lots of us have cars, trucks, vans. These are all potentially lethal weapons, right? But the thing that stops me from going out and stabbing somebody or going out and stabbing multiple people is not that I don't have access to knives, right? 99.9% of people in the USA who own guns have never shot anybody, right? They're not murderers. They don't assault people. They don't rob people. They don't brandish their guns and go and harm people. So why is that, right? To me, that makes it very clear that the issue itself is not to do with the tool. If somebody wants to do harm to another person, they will do it with whatever tool is available. It doesn't matter if it's a knife, it's an AR-15, if it's a pistol. Right? Pistols are used far more in murders in the US, by the way, than any kind of rifle or shotgun, right? It's mainly handguns. They will use a car, they will use a brick, they will use a bottle, they will use their fist, whatever it is. If you want to hurt somebody, you can hurt somebody. We all know this. We all have this capability. And so to me, something like that is a spiritual realm problem. It's like spiritual poverty. There's something going on in society and culture that produces certain people who think that life does not matter or life is not valuable, etc. Right? Because that's what makes it easy for someone to go out and kill other people, right? It's the idea that human life is not sacred. It's not valuable. It's not worth preserving. In fact, maybe it's worth ending. Maybe it's so bad, life is so horrible that this is the way to do it, right? What's the biggest killer of men under 50 in the UK? As far as I'm aware, it's suicide, right? Suicide is the biggest killer of men. What's going on there, right? To me, that's not a political problem. It can have some economic, there can be some connection to economics in it. But if you look at much poorer countries, people aren't committing suicide at that rate. So to me, that's a spiritual realm problem, right? There's something going on in people's souls. There's something missing. There's something that should be there or that's miswired there in the society and the culture, etc., that is causing people to do these things, right? What makes a man take his own life, take another person's life, etc.? How can a politician stop that? Right? It doesn't matter who you vote for, who the prime minister is, who the president is, etc. These are they can do what they can. They can do what they can. They can try to improve the economy. They can try to make more jobs available. You can try different types of welfare and benefits and things like that. But fundamentally, if something is broken in that spiritual realm, then it's going to be a struggle to solve it in a political way. And I don't have all the answers. I know people are going to want the answers. I don't have all the answers. I'd love to think about this more and expand on it more, but it's something I've believed for a few years when I look at certain problems and when I look at to how people answer certain questions. Because, for example, I've never, there's no U.S. politician who I've ever heard give a good answer on, okay, how do we stop mass shootings? How do we stop school shootings, right? They get wishy-washy. You can do this. You can, maybe add this check or, do this. But I think they know. They can't just say, hey, I don't have an answer. And due to the climate of things, they probably can't even say that this is a spiritual realm problem, even if they thought that way, because everyone wants everything to be science and data and data and science and data. And it's supposed to be totally secular. As soon as you use the word spiritual, some people will even be like, oh, gosh, here we go, And I think that's the problem. I think spiritual poverty is a genuine problem in society and culture. And I think a lot of the fracture, I think a lot of the division, I think a lot of the issues we're seeing are actually sort of based around that, and it's complex. And I think it's a key factor that people don't sort of think about or take seriously. So that's kind of why I wanted to bring that one up. But we can go into that in a little bit more detail. I don't want this live stream to go on too long. So what I'm going to do is I will open up the questions. I'm going to answer. Let's see. I'm going to answer 5 more questions. I want to close this live stream out in the next 10 minutes or so. If anyone wants to leave another super chat, you are very welcome to. If you've enjoyed it and you want to support the channel, you want to help me to keep doing this and encourage it, and you want to help support the podcast, my music, etc., super chats are always appreciated. As I said before, I have got the merch available. I've got the tie-dye shirts and the beanies. If you want to go to teamzuby.com, then you can get those, grab the last couple available. And I'm going to look through your questions right now and let us see what we have. Let's see what we have. Okay, let's see. We got a lot of comments. I'm just seeing if any of these are questions. If you have a question, let me know. Someone said, what about purple flavor snapbacks? I've got purple snapbacks. These are available on my website, teamzuby.com. If you want this one I'm wearing right here, or the t-shirt. This t-shirt glows in the dark, by the way. When you turn the lights out, Team Zuby glows in the dark. So yeah, I've got those available. Go to teamzuby.com and you can check them out. You know the answer to that one. Is purple your favorite color? That would, yeah, I think we know that one. Let's see. Any other questions here? What car do you have? I have a big purple van with my name on it. Let's see. That's an interesting thought. Hi, Zuby. I live in London, Stratford, where at a point, lots of gang killings... Sorry, let me read this again. I live in London, Stratford, where at a point, lots of gang killings months apart. So when there was the George Floyd emotional outburst in London, I was a bit frustrated. Yeah, I can understand that. And it's a real question of why do people care about certain types of killings more than they do others, and why should people be silent about something that's going on locally and then be outraged by something that happens thousands of miles away? That's something strange about human psychology. Something strange about human psychology, but I think that's why it's part of why people need to speak up and just be honest and be open about these issues. It shouldn't be a taboo to discuss these things, especially when we're talking about lives, right? Right now, a lot of people are talking about Black Lives Matter, and let that go for all Black lives. Let that go for all lives, not just the ones who happen to be killed by police officers. That's my personal thought on that. We should be able to talk about all of it, and it's important to talk about all of it so that we can fix some of the problems. Okay, let's see what else we got. Any other questions here? There's a lot of interesting comments in the chat. I am having a quick look at the comments, and it's interesting. Man, see, someone wrote here, 3 of my friends have died from suicide. That's awful. Sorry to hear that. That's terrible, man. Like, it's, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, why is that happening? That's the question. Why is that happening? Why is it? And the crazy thing about it is it's actually more, I don't know how aware people are of this, is it's actually much more common, as far as I'm aware, in richer countries. Like in countries with real poverty and real struggle, suicide is actually very rare. It's actually much more common in countries with more access and opportunities and equality and, overall better standard of living. So again, that comes back to my idea of there being some sort of spiritual void. I don't think it's, it's not purely to do with the economy. It's not purely to do with politics. It's not purely to do with, community is certainly a factor. People are feeling very lonely these days. But yeah, here we go. Yeah, this someone else just made the same point I was saying. Yeah, this is the point I was saying. So someone wrote, if someone wanted to kill a lot of people, we'll find a way to do it, even if they don't have guns, unfortunately. And this is absolutely true. I mean, I live here in the UK where citizens can't just own guns, right? There's no Second Amendment in the way there is in the US. But yeah, someone killed 3 people in Reading the other day with a knife. It was people were killed in Glasgow the other day. We've seen people drive through crowds in cars. We've seen truck attacks, stuff like that. Remember that big, we've had them in Paris and different countries in Europe, etc. Those are normally like terrorists, but it shows, look, if someone wants to do harm, then they'll use what is available. And the question is, what's going on an individual and a collective societal level that is causing people to want to do harm? And that's the big question, and no one really seems to ask it or take it super seriously. This is an interesting point. This is from Up to Date with Destiny. I think the technological environment has replaced much of our faith. People are losing their sense of humanity. This is absolutely true when people are online. No question whatsoever. When you're online, whether you're on Twitter or YouTube or Instagram or etc., we see people say things that they would not say to someone in real life. And that's because they have lost the human connection, right? They can't see how what they're saying or what they're writing, how it impacts another human being. And so it makes it a lot easier to be nasty, to be evil, to be aggressive, to be threatening, etc. And yeah, maybe some of that spills out into the real world too. So it's an interesting point. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, lots of interesting points being made here. Lots of interesting points being made. And man, that's why I love you guys, because we can actually have a real conversation. We can talk about real stuff, and yeah, people. There's a lot of stuff here that is interesting. A lot of stuff here that's interesting. Okay, awesome. I see we've run up over an hour. We've still got 300 people tuned in. So I'm just gonna do one final plug. I don't know if so you guys know. So if you guys want any merch, I've got 2 yellow beanies available. I've actually got both of them right here. 2 gold beanies available. If you want one, teamzuby.com. Once those sell out, they're not going to be made again. I've also got 1 last purple Team Zuby beanie. If you want that, teamzuby.com. Only got 1 of those left. I've got 1 blue tie-dye I'm Down with Zuby t-shirt left. If you want to get that one's an XL available. And I've got the purple. I've got 2 of them in large. So this is also the tie-dye Tie-dye, I'm down with Zuby tee. Last one's made. If you want to rock that for the summer, we ship globally. Go to teamzuby.com and you can check it out. Thank you so much. We got a super chat right there from Arlene Brown, $20. Just want to show my support. I truly appreciate all you do. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you. I'm going to try to do this every Monday at this time. That's 8 p.m. UK time. So I'm going to try to make this a regular thing because I enjoy it. I'll do it every week that I can. You know, once in a while I might have something else that pops up which prevents it. But subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned. And much love, guys. Thank you very much.